Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is your wife verbally abusing you? Ooh, this is a tough topic. The reason I left my wife many years ago was she was verbally abusing me. And it took, oh man, that was a really horrible time in my life. And I tolerated the verbal abuse for a long time, like years. Sometimes I'm not exactly sure when the verbal abuse started. I do know when it started getting the worst, and I talk about this horrible subject in my book, Leave Your Wife and Become a Happier Man with a 3-Step System, found on the ahappierman.com website. In the description down below, there's a link to an article I wrote talking about that book. You can learn a little bit more about it there. But yeah, the verbal abuse of a man, me, caused me to leave my wife. And the problem when you're verbally abused is it doesn't go from like 0 to 100 right away. It starts small. Your wife kind of starts using different verbal abuse tactics until one day you wake up and she's just constantly coming at you all day, every day. I would suggest you don't put up with any verbal abuse from her, any person on the planet. But you listening to this, you're probably being verbally abused by your wife, so you probably should check out that book. Sorry, I got a bug in here. The problem with verbal abuse, it erodes your confidence, and the more confidence you lose, the less likely you can stand up for yourself, and the less likely you can do what needs to be done. What needs to be done is you need to leave a woman like that. Once she starts the abuse, there's really no hope for her to stop. I did extensive research on this when I was in the midst of this verbal abuse, and I did further research even afterwards when I wrote the book. And there doesn't seem to be any real evidence that once a person starts verbally abusing another person that they'll ever stop. They just don't seem to be able to stop. And to me, it doesn't matter why they're verbally abusing you. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what her issues or problems are, and they're probably pretty severe, right? I found out years later about all the severe problems. But like I said, it doesn't matter why the person is using verbal abuse on you. It only matters that the effect on you is negative and it's ruining your life. So I wouldn't look at anything having to do with the why. Nothing. It doesn't matter about the why. It just matters what the result is, and it's ruining your life. You can't enjoy a happier man life if you're being verbally abused by your wife or a girlfriend or living lover, anything like that. It's not possible to have a good life, because most of the time you're just walking around on eggshells around her, that even if she's kind of nice today, once she started on this path of verbal abuse, she's probably going to lay some verbal abuse on you tomorrow or the next day or next week. The episodes will come and go. Yeah, my wife wasn't like, she didn't get up in the morning and start screaming at me at 6 in the morning until midnight every day. It wasn't like that. It's more, things come, it goes. It's a horrible situation that I'm just shocked to find myself in, you know, where everything is just terrible in her mind, and the sarcasm is thick, and the name calling, the put downs, the questioning, it just, all that ruins your life. If you're being verbally abused by your wife, the short answer is leave her. If you can't just leave her, well, check out my article about Leave Your Wife and Become a Happier Man, the 3-step system. Check out that article on my website and read it. You'll start to see where you fit into these categories, and you might want to buy the book and really understand the full severe situation you're in, and that there's really what you have to do to, one, survive while you're deciding to leave her, and have go into some things you can do to try to lessen the pain of leaving. Because yes, leaving a marriage, it's going to be incredibly drama-filled, messy, chaotic, horrible situation. It's going to be bad. When I left my wife, it was really, really bad. It wasn't just, I'm going to leave and so long, and she says, oh yeah, I don't want to be married either. It wasn't like that at all. A verbal abuser is going to think that she owns you and that you have no say in your life. But you do. You can leave, but I'm just warning you, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a horrible mess. Probably a lot of the reason you guys aren't leaving is you have children and you're wondering what's going to happen to them. Yeah, it's going to be darn hard on them poor little kids. But what's harder on them is seeing their father get humiliated and abused and run into an early grave. In my case, I left the kids, but eventually, she turned on the kids, and then they left her too, and I recreated my life to be much happier. They came with me, and the three of us are thriving because of it. This will happen to you if you're a good father. Again, the verbal abuse is a horrible thing that men go through, and of course, if you're the one giving her the verbal abuse, well, stop. It's just as bad for you to do it as for her. But I'm talking to the men who are by and large forgotten in this mess and just living out their lives of quiet desperation and wishing for an early grave and thinking about killing yourself. Yeah, that was me. A couple of times where it just seemed like the only option. But it isn't. The leaving is the best option. So if you have that verbally abusive wife in your life, if you can't pinpoint the problem, get my book, and you'll start seeing all the patterns in your life and how bad it is for you and what kind of misery you're living through. And then better yet, you can look at my website and the articles and all the stuff and all the fun I'm having and how great life is now. And so, that could be you. This happier man life could be you once you leave a verbally abusive wife. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you because leaving her is going to be darn hard. Verbal abuse leads to violence. She couldn't be very violent. She couldn't be extremely vindictive. This happens over and over again. That's why a lot of you are afraid to leave. You know how bad she's going to be to you when you try to leave. I feel for you. I wish I could come and help you and take your hand. All I can give you is the guidance in the book and the thought that if you leave her, it might get to something better someday. So good luck with that. All for now.